we wanted to get this podcast out to everybody because we put a survey out just over 3 years ago about what everybody's postpartum experiences were and what support and care was lacking, and it is time to relaunch that survey. So we wanted to talk a little bit about
how we got here,
why we did the survey.
Yeah. So we to foreshadow, we did bring in some other people into the conversation later in the podcast. So we do kind of touch in a little bit more about the survey and how it all started. But it essentially started with 4 of us women. We're all nurses and moms, and we had this shared feeling of the idea that postpartum was really lacking. And it was not helping women the way that we felt that women needed to be helped, but we didn't know what to do. So we got together, we sat down, and kind of came up with a list of things that we wish we could fix in a dream world. And then we thought, well, this is just us 4. I wonder what everyone else thinks.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I know how to do a Google form. I'll just whip up a quick survey. We put some questions together. We posted it on the internet thinking we'd get a handful of responses. Some of our friends, some of our coworkers might respond. And the next thing you know, we had almost 1,500 responses.
Yes, a lot. And some very interesting results.
Yeah.
So
heartbreaking results. Some heartbreaking results. There was a section in the survey at the end where women could free text. I just said, and I say it in the current survey too, tell us the good, the bad, the ugly. Like, we want to hear it. And people just writing these diary entries, essentially, of what their experiences were. And we thought, man, let's do something about this. And then what happened?
Oh, so many things happened. Oh, then COVID happened. Then COVID happened, so that limited a lot of what we were able to do with the information. But it did give us the time for each of us to work towards creating something that would be able to offer support to women, and that's where we're at now, because 4 labor and delivery nurses have now turned into lactation consultants and whole prenatal postpartum wellness centers and labor doulas and postpartum doulas. So we took that information and did something with it during COVID, and now that we've got the tools and the education and the resources to be able to provide support to people, now we want to kind of revisit that survey and see what's shifted, especially with COVID having changed what the childbirth looks like. So we're curious to see what's changed and where people are struggling and where we need to focus our resources and efforts on to make this a better experience for people.
So why don't you tell everyone what you did with and what happened with Momstrong? Like how.
Oh gosh, that was a big project in the making. I started as just a lactation practice because I felt like what was happening in the healthcare systems wasn't supportive enough for parents that were going home breastfeeding their babies. But that lactation practice turned into a whole resource center. We realized, okay, lactation alone isn't enough, so we brought in acupuncture, we brought in chiropractic, we brought in pelvic floor therapists, mental health therapists, feeding therapists. We help babies with tongue ties, a pediatric occupational therapist, and a physical therapist. Sleep coaches.
Jen's been busy.
Yoga, prenatal yoga, mommy and me classes, support groups, all kinds of things. So we've established this center with the information and the feedback that we got from that survey to create the resources and create a central location for people to be able to get those resources and know that they are credible and reliable and are going to give you the best support and meet parents where they're at. That's probably the biggest thing is whatever your goals are, that's what we're going to work towards. No ulterior motives. So we just wanted families to have a place where they could go and get the help and the guidance that they needed and feel like they are truly supported. So we created the village. The village that everybody talks about.
Yeah, she was real lazy during COVID.
Nothing happened during COVID.
She just did a handful of things.
Just a handful of things. No, it was very much a team effort because without the shared vision of everybody that joined in on this project, it wouldn't have happened. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of really passionate providers out there that really care about making sure that the postpartum world is a little bit better off than it used to be.
And during COVID, I very, very slowly was building my postpartum doula business.
Which is tough to do during COVID.
It was tough to do during COVID, and I was just, I am a very look before you leap person, and not just look. I'm like look and research and research and research and dig myself into a bigger research hole and then research those things.
It's and a rabbit hole.
And then I jump in and like my fire starts like building, and then I like to snuff it out. And then, so it
was a tough time to build anything though during COVID.
It was a tough time to build anything. You're right, but I baby stepped my way into doing postpartum doula services, but here I am. And so that's what I did with the information from it is all about timing. It really is.
And it feeling right.
And it feels right. Yeah, it feels right, finally. But from the survey, I already knew it in my heart, but it became so evident to me, like so crystal clear, couldn't be any more clear, that women needed help. And that these women were going home with their babies and just like hands in the air and like no one's talking about how hard this is. No one's talking about how tired I am. No one's talking about how much all of this stuff is like physically painful. And all I have is Google. And if you're a millennial like me, like I said, research, like those Google searches will trap you. And there's so much information. And kind of like what Jen said of just creating like a central place, like I wanted to be a mom's Google, essentially. Where I was like, you don't need Google, you just call me.
Exactly.
You don't need to, don't get in the search function, just call me.
Or if you found something on Google, run it by us.
Run it by me. Run it by
We're happy to tell you if it's legit or not.
Exactly. I just wanted to be like the in-person Google. I had this vision and kind of this idea.
A reliable resource.
Yeah, of just being like a mom's best friend of like in terms of labor and all things postpartum of like, well, I don't know who to go to.
Right.
I don't know who to ask. I'm just going to ask Marisol, and I just wanted to be able to provide that service. So that's kind of like what I did with the survey and what ended up calling to me. We have been a busy bunch of gals.
We're making it happen because we saw the need and we heard everybody's stories, and that was enough to tell us something needed to change. So we're excited for the next survey. I'm really curious to see what the results of this one is. So I'm hoping that everybody shares. I'm hoping we get more than 1,500 responses this time.
I hope so too. I think we will.
I get the feeling we will. I'm very curious how many we're going to get.
Me
but
too. We should start a little bit.
Friendly wager. We should. And then I'm not sure how long we're running the survey for, but as soon as it kind of slows down a little bit, because we want everybody to participate who wants to participate. But the last time we shared the results, and we will share the results again this time, and we're hoping to actually get some mom groups together and focus groups together and support groups together. So we really want to know.
Do all the things we didn't get to do because of COVID.
Because of COVID. It really kind of knocked that whole plan off track. But we're excited to be able to get everybody together. So we want to hear what challenges you had, what you need as a mom.
We want to know. And if you think that like something you are thinking or saying or have in your mind is like, there's no way I could say that out loud. This is the place to do it.
Absolutely.
This is the absolute safe place to tell us exactly what your experiences were, your fears, your anxieties. This is, we want to know because we want to help you and we want to help all the other moms to be, and everyone who needs that help. We want to figure out what things need work, and we know it's a lot.
And you'll be surprised how many share your feelings. So it's a safe place. There's no judgment. Like I said, we all of us are just looking to support people where they're at. So no matter what that looks like for you, as a lactation consultant, some people are afraid to see a lactation consultant because maybe they want to incorporate bottles or formula. Well, guess what? If that's part of your plan, that's going to be part of your plan. Yeah. And we're going to support you every step of the way. So whatever it is that you feel like you need to share, do so, because safe place, no judgment, no mom shaming.
No.
We leave that at the door. The mom guilt is a tough one because that's more of an internal thing, but we're working on that too to help encourage moms to not have that guilt, because you carry that with you.
And to incentivize you a little bit to partake in the survey is we are doing a little giveaway. So if you complete the survey, at the end of the survey, it's going to ask if you have an Instagram handle. And by entering your Instagram handle, you are entering the survey or entering the giveaway. And so what you need to do to enter the giveaway is give us your Instagram handle at the end of the survey. You need to follow all 3 of our Instagrams. So that's Love Strong Wellness. Mine is raising_Mars. And One Sacred Village is the third one. Follow all 3 of us. And when we close the survey, we're going to pick one of our followers, someone who's following all 3 of us and who did the survey. And we're going to give you a $100 Visa gift card. Visa gift card. So who doesn't want $100?
Just in time for the summer. Get to go do something fun with.
I know, right?
With the kids.
I was going to say, and you have to promise us that you're going to use it on yourself.
On yourself, yes.
You cannot buy groceries.
Nope. Don't spend it on more toys for the kids.
Yeah, you need to spend it on yourself. Those are our conditions.
Some self-care would be really great. And we'll probably talk in a future podcast on what self-care actually looks like, because I have been enlightened recently by Marisol on what counts and what does not count. So
my therapist, we'll talk about that. My therapist shook my world as well. So and I'm dying to share it with all of you.
Yes, very interesting things that we have to share. So follow the Instagrams. You'll get lots of really great and fun and entertaining information from all of those. And then,
I think that's it.